Welcome back. In this, hopefully if I can keep it under 10 minutes, short section, we're going to talk about the 4 factors of production. Some economics textbooks call it the 4 economic resources. The 4 economic resources are the 4 factors of production. The ancient Greeks believed that everything in the universe came from 4 things: earth, wind, fire, and water. So no matter what you're talking about, it was some combination of earth, wind, fire, or water. In a similar fashion, maybe I shouldn't compare modern economists to ancient Greeks, but in a similar fashion, economists say, well, in the economic world, everything that we have is composed of some combination of 4 factors of production, sometimes called 4 economic resources. The first of the 4 resources is land. Land. When the economist talks about land, he's talking about not just the stuff we're standing on, but what's immediately under it, like topsoil, or what's further under it, like coal or diamonds, or further under it called heat for geothermal heating or something like that. So we talk about the land, we're talking about what we stand on, what's under it, and way under it. When we talk about land, we're also talking about what's on it, like trees, or real estate, or roads, or bridges, or rivers, or oceans. And we're also talking about land in terms of what is above it: air, sky, clouds, rain, sunshine, particles from outer space. So land includes all of those things, including, of course, what we're standing on. The next economic resource is labor. Labor. We're talking about human labor. I like to say that labor is broken down into 2 B's. 2 B's. The first B would be brawn. B-R-A-W-N, meaning muscle power. Digging a ditch, painting a wall, planting a garden, something that would bring sweat on our brow. That would be a form of human labor. The next B would be brain or mental power. The idea of using our mind to design a bridge or a skyscraper, or to create some accounting statements. So we would have brawn and brain. And one of the things that you're doing in your college education is increasing not your brawn power, unless you're at the rec center a lot, but you're trying to increase your brain power so that you know vocabulary and you know concepts and you know procedures and you have ideas that will make you more valuable in the marketplace. So we're trying to increase the value, the economic value of your labor. The next of the 4 economic resources or factors of production is called capital. Now we have to make a distinction between what capital means in an accounting class and what capital means in an economics class, because if you think or if you have the inclination to say, oh, capital, I know what that's money, then remember, no, verboten, wrong idea. In an economics world, capital is not money. When you think capital in an economic sense, think of this 4-letter word, and I'll write it on the board since I've never seen it on the bathroom wall. This 4-letter word is tool. Capital is some form of a tool. So this dry erase marker is a form of capital because it is a tool that helps me convey an idea to you, the viewer. And when you write down your notes, and hopefully you're taking some notes, that's a tool to help you remember things in the future so you can go back and review it. So capital means some sort of tool. So if we're talking about a person's pickup truck, or if we're talking about a person's ability to know how to put together an income statement, or a balance sheet, or a cash flow, or an aging statement in an accounting sense, or run free body diagrams in physics, or to write PHP code for computers. Those are all forms of mental capital. So capital are tools. They could be mental tools, or they could be physical tools to amplify our ability to accomplish a particular task. Now, the fourth economic resource is, give me some more space here, is entrepreneurship. Again, economists are frequently saying, they commonly say, that everything, all the products in our economy come from four basic resources: land, labor, capital, and this thing we call entrepreneurship. That's a French word, and I hope I spelled it right. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, and yes, I make funny E's. Sorry about that. Entrepreneurship. What do we mean by entrepreneurship? When a person takes their money and their time and they attempt to help solve somebody else's problem or make somebody else's life better, more meaningful, and they risk their own money and they risk their own time in order to make this product, service available to somebody else, we call that entrepreneurship. Now, this entrepreneur is taking a risk with their time and with their money that will lead to a relationship in which both that person wins and they win. Business is not charity, and charity is not business. God bless them both. We need them both, but they're not the same thing. When we're in business, you do business. When you want to do charity, do charity. Entrepreneurship is about doing business, about making trades that are mutually beneficial, but the entrepreneur takes the initiative and takes the risk. So the entrepreneur takes their savings account and they invest it in tools to produce some product that they hope that people are going to say, that's exactly what I needed. Wow, that's great. I really want that. For instance, we just came through a very, very bad winter. And it could have been worse, but it was pretty hefty. And if some entrepreneur at the very beginning of the winter said, you know, there's a lot of people who live way out in the boondocks there that the snowplows don't get to about a day after everything, and they could get stuck out there. You know, I bet that if there were tire chains available, they would want to have those tire chains so that they get through those drifted roads because they'd have increased traction. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy me a bunch of those tire chains that are inexpensive right now, and I'm going to keep them in my garage. And when we have one of those really bad wintry days that are drifting, I'm going to call those guys up and say, hey, would you like some tire chains? I've got a snowmobile, or I got a four-wheeler, I can get them out to you. And I bet you they would be, I bought them for maybe $25 a piece. I bet you they would pay me $125 and be happy with the trade. Now that would be an entrepreneur in action. Why? Because they took their money. It could be a mild winter and they have to turn it into mill iron for scrap because they misforecasted the future. The essence of all business profits is accurately forecasting what people are going to need in the future. That is the role of entrepreneurs, and they take their money and they put it at risk, and they take their time and put it at risk in order to produce something that's beneficial for themselves, their family, and the people that they are serving.